Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Tuesday, July 12, 2016 at 3:40 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Now this morning, I had mentioned the other day that I was going to go haul a grill for the church, and we got that done today finally. And so, after, of course, waking up early because I stew about these sorts of things in the middle of the night, and getting up at 3:30 and making tea, and then just sort of potting around doing some other things, I left for the northwest part of Delaware, Ohio, at around 8:10 in the morning. Well, this is morning traffic around here. I mean, as it ended up, I only got there with 3 minutes to spare. We had agreed on a 9 o'clock meet time, and I duly met Janet of Janet and George, who were giving the church the grill, and then Terry Highland, our interim rector, and the Reverend Highland, who our interim rector, who I think he actually got there a few minutes after I did. Yeah, he did. And then, but he had come down to sort of reposition the grill for loading onto the truck the night before. Good Lord! And so we had. So Janet directed me to where I should put my truck properly, and I went over, and then it's time to get the thing into the back of the truck. Now this bastard's a beast. The grill's a beast. Janet's not a beast. Neither is Reverend Highland. Some people might think I'm a beast, but I don't think I've come across that. So it had a heavy end and a lighter end. Now we'd obviously taken out all of the extraneous stuff, the grills and the burner pit tray, and all of the little extraneous tools that were stored in the unit and so forth. Not that that's going to make a bit of difference, but it will make a bit of difference. So it's going to be just brute main force to lift this thing up into the back of my, Dodge 1500 pickup. And it's a fairly high, it comes, the tailgate, when it's level, when it's opened and level, comes to about here. So you're really talking about a 4 1/4 foot lift, dead lift. Millennium 1990, we could have used you today. But Millennium 1990 is one of my subscribers. Anyway, he's a very strong individual. I become becalmed and sidelined. But that's not unusual here on the Joe Kersey channel. So what we did was we put the lighter end up with a smaller little tiny, almost like little furniture moving wheels, up onto the tailgate. Now that almost meant setting this grill at about a 80 to 85 degree angle. But we got it so we could use those legs as kind of a lever, because the little handles on the back, on the other end, to lift it up and then kind of try to roll it. Now we had to you're always going to get caught in the tailgate crack. Given the surfacing of my truck bed, you're going to be, ridges and things that are just annoying as anything. Both to load over and to walk on if you're trying to walk around in that deck. Take note, Dodge, on that one. But finally, after once you commit to getting it up, once you're caught in that tailgate notch, you're committed. I mean, you've got to keep going. You can't really back out. And so even then even Janet helped us, lift up at the back and get it in. And then it was a matter of security. Now I had a nylon tie down strap, which I used then to run over the top, such that it wouldn't tilt, because we were running this in the middle of the bed. Well, toward the back of the bed, but in the middle of the bed. And then I have some parachute cord that I use to tie the legs, run it over, wrap it around, run it over to the hooks. I mean, so hooked on either side or tied onto the tie-down rings on either side. That would keep it from sliding forward should I have to stop suddenly. And indeed, the transport went very well. So I got down to St. Peter's, and I said to myself, there's got to be a way to get some sort of wood that we can use as a quasi ramp to get this thing down out of the back of that truck. And then I laid my eyes on 2 4x4 landscaping timbers. Each one's probably about 10 feet long. Maybe a bit longer, 10 feet long anyway. And so I thought, I'll put these things down on either side of the inside part of that rear axle, run them down to the ground, making them sure to keep them in parallel. And we can lift that axle up over the thing with a little 2x2 lever bar I have that I keep in my side door. And then we can basically slide this thing down. It's not going to come down right all at once, because it's got those little tiny front wheels are going to have, front wheels in that configuration. Rear wheels actually in that configuration are going to have to negotiate the various cracks and bumps and things. Okay, that was my plan. The Reverend Highland had another plan, which he never quite articulated to me. But once I convinced him that by placing these 4x4s right against the outside part of that rear axle, or the rear axle that we were going to initially lift up and put on over into the fray, so to speak, he allowed us how that's probably okay. And then, of course, there's always the rethink. Well, right now there's 3 North Dakota State University students staying in our parish house because they're doing some outreach work in Delaware. And they're gone from morning to about 10:30 at night. And he says, well, they get home at 10:30 at night. If you're willing to go home and keep this thing in your truck and come back at 10:30 at night, then they'll just lift it out for us. And I said immediately, without thinking about it, and it was the right answer, immediately without thinking about it, that ain't going to happen. We're going to do this now. And so we did. But on the drive home, I realized that perhaps I'd been a tad abrupt. But no, come on, make a decision, do it. Worst is going to happen is you're going to drop a free grill that you didn't pay for. Venality, abounding everywhere. So, you know, the key thing was nobody got hurt, nobody got injured, and got home safely. And, Paul's been napping off and on today, and they've been working out with the big boys with the big toys have been working out in the field this morning or today, pretty much all day. So obviously I have an intense interest in what actually transpires with all this. So I'm going to say bye-bye YouTube.